So just so we get it up and rolling.
All right. And I'm glad that he fixed the air conditioner.
Oh,
My
hell yeah.
gosh. I was like one hot mama, I'm telling you.
We all were.
I was like, woo, Jesus. We had fans. People were sweating.
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. Here, I'm gonna post this on Facebook and say, listening right now.
Then tag me and I'll put it on my page.
Okay.
I love the instant gratification of doing this stuff. It's
I
like,
know, it's like
okay.
awesome.
Instant, just everybody knows about it. Put them on blast. So there you go. Iraq, wow. That doesn't come up that often. She picked some rocket stuff in this video here.
I know. Into W. KUHS Denver.com. Post. Okay. And then do you want me to share it on your page?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Since we're always here together, might as well.
Okay, might as well. And then say this is Steve. Say your name.
Stallsley.
Stallsley. This is Steve Stallsley. Bringing you into introducing. Hey. Hi, come in, Kenny. You're gonna be sitting right here.
Okay.
Because we're gonna be talking face to face.
Okay. Let me turn this off.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, what a line.
Oh my gosh. See, something was trying to hinder you from coming.
Oh.
But you made it!
Oh yeah. That was the fastest I've ever changed it that time.
He was like, I'm doing it. What's the deal? Steve, here we go.
Yeah, it took me what, 5 minutes to change that time?
5 minutes?
Nah. There's no way I could have made it on time. Think about this. Think of 5 minutes to spare.
Hey, you did.
The good thing with not showing my shirt how dirty it is.
It's all good. Nobody's gonna look.
No, just washing and oh my gosh.
So we're gonna talk about that. All right, all right. Boop, boop, boop. So I swear people in.
Okay. You swear people in?
I do. I swear people in. So I'll be swearing you in to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. And then we're going to dive right in to the story, and we'll just have the dialogue.
Okay.
So you want to make sure that that's close to you. You can put the earphones on if you want, but I don't usually, like, I'm just kind of like chatting, you know?
Well, that was quite an adventure today. And of course, it was like 100 degrees outside.
Uh-huh.
Oh, well.
Cool beans. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we're going to get ready for this. For this posting on. Aye.
Ready?
Yeah, he's gonna and say this is Steve Stalsey, you know, whenever you,
Hey, Steve. Nice to
he
meet you.
is my tech guy. He runs this whole thing, this whole show. Like he gets it working. Oh, are we already recording?
Yeah, we're already.
Oh, hey,
already
what
going.
up, y'all? I didn't even know you guys were like live streaming right now.
They're
But
watching.
hi, y'all. It's Angie and Kenny, my guest. We're getting ready to go on the air. We're gonna have some real talk, real life with real people. And, you know, I just thank you guys for watching us, supporting the source. The source will bring you the truth on many topics that are very controversial or just stories that have affected humanity, and people have risen to the occasion regardless of what struggle they were facing with. We all have struggles, we all are human, and we all have a fight. It's not like this life is easy. Even if you have a silver or gold spoon in your mouth, like you're going to still have a struggle in regards to identity and purpose. And so what the source is all about is bringing real life people onto the show, talking about the struggle, talking about their beauty, their ashes going into beauty, and just rising up to the occasion. And not only that, just not being a consumer, but being a contributor to society. A lot of times we're in autopilot, right? And we're like, okay, I'm just gonna do what society tells me to do. I'm just gonna go home. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna eat my 3 meals a day. I'm gonna spend time with my family. I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna watch TV. I'm gonna be on my social media, just kind of telling everybody that I went and got my hair did. You know, that's good and all, but what other things that are motivating and passionate to you? Are you just okay with being, you know, status quo? You know, living that white picket fence? Or is there something more? And I know that there is something in humanity, that there's something more that we're looking for.
We're ready to go.
We're ready. We're ready to go. We're going to rock and roll.
And after this, I'll fade it down and I'll talk.
That's cool. That's cool. I love this song.
I didn't know
Listen
you
to
had
this
a
song.
video going on.
This song is dope, y'all. This song is dope. Do you want to be great?
It'll be great.
This is the Source's theme song from now on radio and TV.
It's time for The Source with Angie on KUHSdenver.com. This is your producer, Steve Stalsey, welcoming you to The Source with Angie on KUHSdenver.com.
Hi, y'all. It is Angie. I am back again and better than ever. You are listening to The Source. And as you know, The Source brings you a lot of controversial topics that a lot of people do not even want to touch or talk about. We are about the truth, raw, naked, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. And we also talk about people that have maybe dealt with struggle. As you know, here as human beings, we have that struggle. There's always a struggle that we're facing, either in the family foundation, either if it's with work, whatever it is. We talk about those struggles and we bring people on that have risen to the occasion, that have not allowed society to just make them status quo, that have really come into purpose and greatness. And so today I have a very special guest, Kenny Yu, and actually he's Master Kenny Yu. He is a master in Taekwondo. But I hope you guys were able to see the video promo we kind of did in regards to how he grew up. When he grew up, he had a hearing deficit. And it wasn't noticed until he was was it 7 or?
Yeah, 7.
7 years old. It went unnoticed. And so he had to go through a lot of things, not only with people misunderstanding him, but family, didn't understand. Teachers didn't understand. And to go through 7 years of your life where you had a severe hearing deficit, he had a struggle. And he went through a lot of things in regards to having people misunderstand him and bully him and all of those different kinds of things. And he has risen to the occasion. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about people that have deficits, but we're going to talk about his story and how it changed his whole world and the turning points. And this may be relating to you. It may not be a hearing deficit. There may be something that is a deficit that you are misunderstood. So we're going to talk about that. But Angie always has to swear in her guests because we are going to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So, Master Kenny, do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
Okay, let's get this rocking and rolling. So, Kenny, I want the listeners and the viewers to know who you are, okay? We are going to talk about the struggle, okay? We're going to talk about basically memories in regards to that deficit that you had, okay?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that and introduce people to let them know a little bit about you.
Okay, well, first off, I just want to say, Bina, if you're listening, hi, thank you for being amazing to me. And, but, I don't think I'm anything special. I really don't. I think I see the world, and there's so many people with more and greater deficit and greater struggles that I may never understand. I believe, though, my story, I hope it's just maybe it's an inspiration for somebody to take that first step and keep going, becoming better. And so when I was 7, they finally figured out I was hard of hearing. And so when people meet me, they think that I have an Asian accent, but it's really my speech impediment because of my hearing loss.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's fun. People kind of struggle to figure out what to do with me. Okay, but at 7, nobody knew until 7 when they do the game where they pass the word. You whisper to one ear, and then the kid says what they heard. And by the time it comes around, it should be a completely different word. Well, all they heard was just I heard a bunch of mumbles. So all I heard was blah, 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 blah. And that's what it came back to the teacher. And he went backwards, and it was Mr. Harris, David Harris from Stein Elementary, and he figured out it was me with the hearing issue.
Mm.
But the bad thing was they put me into Fletcher Miller, I'm sorry, and that is more for the people with severe disabilities and mentally, what's the new word? I don't know the politically correct word anymore, but the mentally challenged.
Mm-hmm.
And those are and people in wheelchairs and people that couldn't see. I mean, it was a whole different level.
You want to make that a little closer to you? Okay.
And so, and the people I met there were the most beautiful people I've ever met in my life. They loved me. They didn't care. It was unconditional. It was almost like a pure form of humanity that it should have been.
Wow.
And that's when I knew that these were the people. This is love for humanity and being someone special. And they were special to me.
Mm-hmm.
By the time I was 11, I finally got my first hearing aid. So I look back at all those years and I realized, you know what? I really didn't get an education until about 11 because I didn't get my first hearing aid.
Wow.
And then, and so of course my father always used to get mad at me. He said, "You're not listening to me." Well, Dad, I'm deaf. Now he knows that. But that didn't make it easy then.
It didn't make it easy for you because they thought you weren't really listening to them and you had a deficit. So that's really real because you know what? A lot of times things can go unnoticed in regards to, a hearing deficit or a seeing deficit. And, parents don't understand it and neither does teachers. They're getting a little bit better and a little bit more educated, but to go through something, especially, them not knowing and him being angry with you, and you're like, what am I doing wrong? Like I'm really like trying to listen, but you couldn't hear him. And he didn't know that.
Yeah, you're right. And you know what? It's easy to place blame. And it was very difficult with my father and I. And that's something maybe we can talk about too in terms of being a better man for all of us and becoming better as human beings. And so, yeah, I think, it's important that we as men try to and strive to be better. We may make mistakes. My dad made some mistakes.
Uh-huh.
And you know what? We have to rise to the occasion and say, I'm sorry, and I'm going to be better. That's all we can do.
Yes.
And I want to go on and I want to forgive and forget.
That's right.
Okay. There was a lot of things. Now, interestingly, my dad fueled a lot of my anger.
Mm-hmm.
It compounded with kids just hitting me all the time. I would go to school and I'd get hit for no reason at all.
Mm.
And then the teachers would laugh at me. And these are the
Wow.
people, yeah.
So you know what? I'm not to cut you off, and I
No, go
really
ahead.
want you to go deep into that because you know what? I know that your story resounds with many, many, many children today,
Mm-hmm.
and you know maybe even adults that get mistreated because they're different from what society says they're different from, and when people don't understand and they take it out on someone who's precious, like you said, you know the mentally challenged, you were put in the class, and they were the best spirited people that had the human love unconditional was a beautiful thing. And a lot of times society paints this, you have to be beautiful, you have to be rich, you have to, you know, have everything intact in order for me to see you as perfect. And if people don't understand or they misunderstand somebody, they're like, you're different and I'm going to mistreat you. And that is so wrong in regards to society today.
Yeah.
You know, and for them hitting you and teachers laughing at you, if you guys are out there doing that, if teachers are out there doing that, if you're listening in and you are doing that to the people, that the children that you are supposed to be a role model to, shame on you. Shame on you. Because why would you do something if you misunderstand something and you play a role in bullying someone else? It's disgusting and it's vile and it needs to stop. And these kids need to be able to speak up and say that's not okay. And they need to have people to defend them and be a voice for them as well.
Uh, and I agree. And I think, and of all the teachers that I met, they were bad. I've never forgotten who they were,
Mm-hmm.
but I also never forgot the good ones.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were very good teachers that did take me in.
That's awesome.
And some of those teachers, they came to my wedding. They brought their own children to my own school, and I taught them taekwondo. Um, it's this is the community that we need to build.
That's right.
And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm a master. I'm not anyone special. I just want to make a better community.
That's right.
For ourselves, our children. You know, we all have a voice. We are all special.
That's right.
And one thing, I just want every children, and you know what, not everyone, to understand, we are all gifts of God. We
That's
have a precious gift that He's given us. Have you found what that is?
That's true.
Yeah.
Have you found it?
I found it. I found it by giving it back. Because my teachers are my right belts. Every beginner student teaches me and reinforces what I'm doing. And that's the idea of community. When I teach, I tell my students, why are we here? Do you know what we are? Why do we sit so close together? And they all say, because we are family. We are family.
We all are family. That's right.
And we have to help each other. No matter what's going on, we need to be there for each other. And that's so there's thousands, 10,000 Taekwondo instructors, maybe even more martial arts instructors throughout the world. Everyone or anyone can learn and teach you how to kick and punch. So what? I want to teach them to become leaders, become men, become women, become someone special that goes out and do something and becomes something for this society other than being a number, other than saying, you know what, I'm going to sit back, everybody hates me, I'm going to give up, I quit. No, life is hard. We know that.
We do know that. Yes, we do.
Okay, it's not, and why do you want to talk about the hardship? Let's talk about harnessing each other and bringing each other together and building that energy and bringing that sense of community back.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
we
right.
lost that.
We did lose that. But it's really important also to talk about the hardship and how people can get out of that hardship with not having the victim mentality, seeking for those people that are going to help them, because a lot of times they just don't know who, what, or where. And so when people can relate to your story of hardship, but looking at the ashes and rising to that beauty, people can say, you know what, you've been there, and you can relate to me. Regardless, whatever type of hardship it is. Life is hard. It really is.
Yeah.
But whenever you have, and I won't say it's a deficit. I would say basically it's probably a blessing in regards to your deficit. Well, not a deficit. It was a hearing impairment. But you know what? Thank God for science in regards to how they developed, your hearing aids and all of that. But a lot of kids are misunderstood even now today.
So here's a question. Do I have a deficit? Because I don't think so. Do I wish that I had perfect hearing? No, I don't. It's so nice to turn off my hearing aids and go to bed.
Now listen to him.
I'm in the plane. So last time I was on the plane going to Detroit, and there were 4 or 5 babies on that plane. I just turn off my hearing aids, and I'm deaf. I'm completely done, and I don't hear a thing. Who's to say it's anything worse? Okay. Did you know that the sign language is the second most spoken language in the United States?
I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that. So English and then sign language.
Wow.
And it's this deaf community is live and vibrant. And the beautiful part about technology is that the deaf community is now becoming part of the mainstream. They can text, they can read, they're closed caption.
Yes.
And these beautiful hearing aids, I can hear music for the first time. It's awesome. But would I change anything? No, it's just who I am. This is my gift that God's given me. And why would I want to change it? It made me better.
That is so beautiful. I want to go back to when you first got your hearing aid. How was that experience? Like, you were 7 years old when they found that out, but you said because of financial situations, the first time you were able to hear was when you were 11.
Yeah.
So tell us about the experience.
Well, it's funny is because a lot of people think Asians are from wealthy families, but we were not. We were very poor, and nothing that my parents didn't give me. They just didn't have the means, and they worked very hard. But when I first got my hearing aids, I hated them because it was so loud. You gotta understand, it's like turning up your car volume, full blast. Now just think of this: before you sit this full blast and you push that on button, it's gonna just jolt you, and it feels like a thunder hit you, and it's all static. It was awful.
It was awful experience.
It was
oh
awful.
My gosh!
So here I am as a kid, 11 years old. 11 years old. I lost my hearing aids literally 4 times on purpose. Because I hated it on purpose. I would leave them all over the place. And the amazing thing was, they knew it was mine. So the community or the school, they would take it to the office, and the office would call me and say, "Kenny, we found your hearing aids again."
But you were doing it on purpose. Oh gosh.
But the early technology was very, very crude, and but today it's phenomenal. It's just unbelievable. It's just. I went to see one of my favorite singers, Billy Joel, and I was able to put it on a setting where it amplifies his voice and to clear out the background noise. It was amazing.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So I consider that my blessing.
Again, wow, that is so awesome. So you got your hearing aids at 11. You hated it. It was just like very startling in regards to what you heard. You try to hide them. Okay, so you said you weren't schooled until about 11 years old. Like, you didn't really get the education that you needed because you weren't able to basically hear, and teachers back then, they didn't have like sign language, and were you being taught sign language or?
Yeah, I was fluent in sign until the age of 11. At the age of 11, they pulled me out and put me back into the mainstream, the main school. So I went from the hearing impaired schools to the neighborhood schools, and so it was and my hearing aids just haven't given me issues right now. That's the bad thing about technology. It's just beeping them. Um, so yeah, I was able to sign, and then when I went into the mainstream, I went back into voice. So I
Okay.
became an expert at reading lips.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
Okay.
but you know, it's interestingly, it tied in back into my taekwondo
Mm-hmm.
because I just was I was very angry. So I was, it's interesting. The thing was, when I went to Fletcher Miller and met the people with the physical disabilities and they gave, that was, that was amazing. Then you go into the hearing, the non-hearing world, and they're very open. They're very understanding. You go back into the mainstream, they're not.
They
It's
don't understand.
it's cruel. They don't care. It's dog eat dog world. They, you know, it's just something else.
I know. That's why we're talking about it, because we want people to understand this.
Yeah.
We want people to understand that even though someone may be different, you don't, just because you don't understand it doesn't mean to be cruel and ugly.
And you know, so I was an easy target. I was poor.
Mm-hmm.
My clothes were awful. My mom actually would not put patches on my jeans, but she'd sew them on with other jeans. And the kids would see that. Um, and, and I was tiny and skinny. Little did I know I was going to be a big kid later.
I
So-
know you. You are a tall Asian. You're like what, 6'3"?
No, I'm 6 feet,
6 foot.
but I'm just big. I'm a big Asian. So people look at me and they get freaked out by my size. I look more like a football player.
You
think.
do.
Yeah.
You do.
And
So you were skinny and not so tall at that time.
No, so I was a perfect target for everyone.
Mm.
And so I knew at the age of 13 I needed an outlet because my anger was just manifesting to the point where you can feel it burning inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not alone in this. I know there's people out there that feel it. And it's not at 13, it could be at any age. And it's just burning you. And now, here's the choice. You can let it eat you up. You can go one direction or the other. We all have choices.
We do. Yes, we do.
And I chose to fight. And literally, I wanted to fight. I love to fight.
We're going to talk about that too.
I could, and I knew I needed to have that outlet.
Mm-hmm.
My first day of 7th grade, very first day, this kid was twice my size, and he called me chink. You know, I wasn't quite sure if I even heard him right, and I didn't even know what chink meant, but I knew it wasn't nice. So I was beating him. I was so mad at him, and I just kept hitting him, and I was on top of him. She just got a hold of me, and that's when I knew inside, it's not good.
Uh-huh.
It's too much anger.
Yes.
That's the time I started doing taekwondo.
Okay.
Okay, and all that energy finally went to good use.
So tell us about that, because you said it was fueling, it was burning. You realized that you kind of had a not a good outlet in regards to getting this boy and taking him down and doing what you did. But you realized at that point you need to harness this anger. So you got into Taekwondo. Tell us a little bit about Taekwondo and how that helped you harness that anger and put it into something positive. What did it do for you?
Well, I think, especially boys, and I know what, I take that back. For anybody at that age, we have this energy and we need to get it out. And Taekwondo was my way. So when I started kicking, I could kick. And I can kick all day. And I just fell in love with it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is my outlet. It could be music for somebody else. It could be a different sport. It could be art. It could be writing. You know, we're all so gifted, but we need to find that outlet.
Yes.
But once you find it, you have to continue. You have to give everything you have. So people say, well, geez, Master, you 1 hour a week or 1 hour a day, 3 times a week, isn't that enough? No. 4 hours a day, 6 times a week, every day, 4 or 5 years. That's dedication.
It is. Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason why I was able to be as good as I ever was.
Mm-hmm.
It's that drive and that burning desire to be better than anyone else. And it kind of goes back to, I remember watching Muhammad Ali fighting,
Mm-hmm.
and the way he was just dominant, and the way he took control of the ring. I was thinking, you know what? I want to be just like this guy. and it was amazing that once I found that passion, and you go into it, and you start to do and give your heart, and just be grateful that you have this opportunity, things change.
Wow. That's amazing. And you know what? Like with excelling in Taekwondo and becoming a master, because you had told me that you could have been an Olympian. You could have went that far if you wanted to. Why didn't you do it?
Well, I should say, I feel like in my heart, yeah, I could have been an Olympian. And my best friend, who was a former Olympian, he said to me once, he said, Kenny, yeah, you haven't. But it's all about timing.
It is.
To be in the Olympic every 4 years, and at that time, only half of the weight, the class, so the weight class.
Uh-huh.
And it was just an experimental sport at the time. So instead of maybe 4, I believe, only 2 weight classes went, or maybe 4 instead of 8, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to hit that perfectly. And I didn't. I missed my opportunity. But that doesn't mean.
No, it doesn't.
It just meant that God had other plans for me.
And we're going to talk about that plan too, because I want people to know that you're not just a master in Taekwondo. You weren't just striving to be the best for yourself. I mean, your story is amazing, Kenny, in regards to what you had to go through in regards to the struggle and, having that burning anger and making a choice to either go the right way or the wrong way, and you harnessed it in Taekwondo. And you wanted to be the best, and you wanted to be like Muhammad Ali, in regards to your sport, into your art. And it is a beautiful art. I trained with you a few times, and oh my gosh, this guy's hardcore. But, Taekwondo gave you that outlet. You started to excel. You started to meet a lot of different people. When did you decide to use that for the better good? What triggered you? What happened in regards to making that decision? And let's talk about some of those things that you have contributed to.
Well, it's kind of that thing in life. No matter how far you try to get away from it, it finds you again.
That's true.
And this was my gift. This was my way to give back. But it's also my balance. So over the years, whenever I stopped practicing, they'd come find me. People would ask me to teach. Or something would happen. And one thing led to another. I was in the corporate world, and someone said, you really need to start training. You need to start teaching people. So I thought I started teaching. But the funny thing is, I've been teaching since I was 15. Literally teaching kids and adults since I was 15. I never stopped. It's just that I never did it professionally with my own gym, my own school. And I started doing that. And I realized this was my way of giving back.
Mm.
My ex-wife used to get mad at me because she said, you give away all of your lessons. You're never going to make a lot of money doing this. And you're such a good instructor. And I said, well, I just have a hard time charging for something that I believe could change people's lives. That is a benefit to the society. And that's why, and that's something, over the years, you know what? If someone came to me, and I mean, it was 20 years ago, or even today, and said, I can't afford it, but will you teach me? I never said no, ever.
Mm.
And I tell all of my students, if you can't afford it, it's not the issue. Give me your heart. Give me everything you have, and I'll make you a champion. And that's all I ever ask. So I think that was the journey, and that's what it took me to. And yeah, luckily I've been recognized, and
You
people
have
have.
been recognized. They've called you the community hero. You've won multiple awards from Channel 7, Channel 9. I mean, you've had a lot of awards given to you because of what you have decided to do in regards to helping people and empowering people and helping people to um, not be paralyzed by fear. You know, a lot of times fear can paralyze us because we are struggling with something or we found out news about, like Jessica Ridgway. I saw the cover, was it
Channel 2.
Channel 2? It was Channel 2. Um, that you actually gave those children self-defense classes. You and your team. I saw some of the people, other instructors that were with you, teachers with you. But at that time, when that little girl got kidnapped and murdered in Arvada, a lot of children were scared in that area.
Yeah.
And you stepped in, and your team stepped in, and you guys offered self-defense classes to even like 5-year-olds. And it didn't matter the age, but you guys did that to empower them.
Yeah, and let's be honest. Sometimes it's just that feeling of giving them something to make them feel better. Okay, the kids were scared. The parents were more scared. So it's just kind of saying, as a community, parent, looking at you to help ease this fear.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get over this. I know a 5-year-old child will have a difficult time, but he does have one weapon that I really did emphasize. That was his voice. When you're scared, scream, yell, use your voice. That's a great weapon and something we can all use.
Yes.
There's a lot of self-defense out there, and the issue with self-defense is it's fly-by-night thing. It's here one day and they give you a 1-hour lesson and they say, here you go, come to my class now, come to my gym, and then we're going to teach you again. That doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
We need a system that helps women, and sometimes children, it's a little difficult because I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But for women, I think we need to have a new way of getting them to understand how to defend themselves.
Yes.
And it needs to be ongoing.
It does. It does.
I know it's crazy. Every woman I know knows what's going on out there. They know how dangerous it can be. And they always say, I wish I knew more self-defense. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that because, you taught me a lot of things that are valuable. Do I remember? Not probably, no, not now.
Right.
You have to be consistent,
Right.
in regards to the different types of things and when someone attacks you. Because we do live in a dog-eat-dog fallen kind of world that preys on, women and children. And, it's kind of, it's sad. It's really sad, but we got to be able to rise to the occasion and not allow a fear to paralyze us.
Right.
We need to be empowered.
And you know that.
I do know that.
And all the other ladies know that. But the biggest problem is that they become moms. They become they have a career. They just don't have the time. And
That's
I think that's what we need to find. It's a medium for time, a medium or a balance where they have time and it's done regularly enough. And
Yes.
that's something that I want to maybe, once it's ready, we can come back and talk about it again. But I really believe that's what the next step is something that women can do once a month for like 3 to 4 hours for that one day.
Uh-huh.
And it's monthly. And we continue training on that. We just got to bring that back.
We do.
Yeah.
We definitely do. That is so, so amazing in regards to that. Like, I'm just really inspired by your story, Kenny. Like, you have this story. I want people to be inspired in regards to the listeners that, even though there's this label on them in regards to, oh, your impairment or your deficit, you don't have to look at it that way. You can look at it as a blessing, as a gift, and you can find your purpose regardless, because they say when you lose one sense, you get enhanced in other senses. It's what I've heard.
It's true. My eyes used to be really good until I started going. Then my eyes started going bad. and I blamed that because I went back to school and I started reading, and then my eyes started going bad. And so, but it's funny. My friends used to tease me. They go, "So Kenny, now not only are you deaf, you're going blind. This is not a good sign."
Hey, you know what? It's okay, and I'm sure that if that was to ever happen, you will find a way.
I'll find a way.
You would find a way, you know,
Yeah.
and we can't allow those things to get in the way of our purpose and our call. And I wanted to bring you on, and I wanted people to be inspired by your story that may be dealing with the same situation, or like I said in my video promo, is that we all have a struggle.
Mm-hmm.
In humanity, it's not like roses and rainbows and unicorns and you know, bonbons. It's not that. You know what I mean? Life can be hard and it can be a struggle. But when you have another label on you, you know, okay, that person's poor, or that person is Hispanic, or that person is Asian, or that person is white, or that. No, I was just talking to Steve a little bit ago. I said, you know, I see all this stuff in regards to, you know, Black Lives Matter and, you know, Latinos lives matter, but what about human lives matter?
Right.
You know, we have to get community together to not say you look different from me, you're different, I don't like you, I don't want nothing to do with you because you don't look like me, you don't talk like me, you don't act like me. I mean, we're all different, right? And there's a lot of struggle that's going on in the family foundation, that's going on every day that we face. And so I want people to know that regardless of what it is, they can be empowered and they can be inspired to rise to their greatness and to the occasion. You know, and we don't have to say we're victims. We don't have to say that victim mentality or that entitlement mentality that the world owes me. Well, the world doesn't really owe you anything, and it's not going to say that it does owe you anything. At the end of the day, it's you finding who you are and rising up to that occasion, because you can be great. It's a choice. It's a choice if you're going to allow people to put that label on you, or you're going to say no. I don't, like you said, I don't see that my hearing was a deficit, was an impairment. I see that it was a gift.
Yeah, and you know, Angela, I heard your story once.
I know
That
you
inspired
did.
me. That was very, to me, that was amazing what you went through. You know, we all have our
We
stories,
do.
and I don't think mine is any better. I don't know if it's even up there. You know that story where the guy said, I looked down, I thought I didn't have any shoes. Then I look over to the next guy and he didn't have any feet. It's close to that line.
Mm,
It's so true. There's always someone that has it worse. There's
yes.
always a story that's even sadder. And there's always that person that just keeps rising. And this is what I learned in my all these years, that when you fight and you just fight hard and you fight for what you believe in, good things will happen. You know, it's a journey.
It is a journey.
And if you're afraid of this journey, it's just not going to go anywhere. But this journey can be amazing. It can be awesome. It's scary. It's gonna make you fall. It's gonna make you bleed. You're gonna
cry.
sweat. You're gonna cry. You're gonna hate. But then there's the upside.
You're gonna learn how to love.
You're gonna learn how to love.
You're
gonna
gonna
meet some great people. You're gonna inspire. You're gonna teach. You're gonna see humanity at a different level. And but if you only see the bad, and if you want to focus on that, yeah.
that's all you're going to see, and that's what you're going to attract, really, because at the end of the day, we create our own world. We do. We create our life, even though that there's trials and there's obstacles that come our way. I mean, this is a journey, and there's tests. you know, and there's lessons that we have to learn, you know, as we grow through the milestones of life. It's growth and development. You know, am I going to stay in the mentality like with my story? Am I going to stay in that mentality when I was 12 years old and there was an issue that I had to face and I had to rise to the occasion? Was I going to allow myself to just stay in that moment? And like you said, there is healing and forgiveness. You know, like you said, you had problems with your father, but you forgive, and you forget. That was something that you had to learn from, right?
Absolutely.
We have these learning lessons. We have either we're going to go from one level of glory to the next, or we're going to be staying stagnant. And everything is moving. Our world is moving. 24 hours, time doesn't stop for no one. Okay?
Yeah, and it's getting faster.
It's getting faster.
And it's getting more daunting at times. It's almost like I'm watching my children grow up and thinking, wow, I don't know if I can, this is something else. It's a whole different era of community, of sense of technology and people and interaction. It's not good.
It's not, because we've lost that sense of togetherness and culture of people being part of a community. Like, yes, social media is great. I mean, to be able to but it's not it's not humanistic. It's not that, hey, we're seeing each other right now. We're spending some time together. I want to shake your hand. I can shake your hand. We can have a eye-to-eye conversation. You know, we lost that. We are in a sight and sound generation now. And, you know, we got to get that restored, because you know what? There's a lot of people that don't know what's happening with communities, and it's like we're an autopilot,
Yeah,
you know?
I think that might have a lot to do with the fact that mental illness is more, it's just happening more and more. It's everywhere now. I wonder if it's because we're losing that sense of touch, the sense of, let me help you, the togetherness. And again, you know, when I come back to like what I'm doing is I teach Taekwondo. I'm touching these kids. I'm holding them. I'm showing them discipline. I'm showing them tough love. And that's something that's not done anymore.
It's not.
No. I mean, the teachers are so afraid to teach anymore. Why? They need to go out there and teach and discipline our children. This is our future. They get to me, they give me an eye. Guess what? They're going to do 10 laps, 20 push-ups. And the funny thing is, they always say yes, sir. They say yes, sir, and they do it on the spot. Because they need it. They want it.
They want structure.
And you know, and I told them this. I said, listen, when I don't pick on you, and when I stop yelling at you, it's the day you should worry. Because that's when I don't care.
Mm.
And they all understood. They looked at me and they go, yes, sir, we get that. Everyone wants to know that. You know, the children need to know what they're for them. We have to protect our children.
Yes, we do.
This is our job.
It is our job.
Okay, and as a father, as a man, I got this question. Where are the men?
Where are the men?
You know, you talked about it once.
Yeah, we did.
And you talked about fatherless America. Yeah, what the heck is going on, guys? You know, we need to hold each other and ourselves accountable as men.
And sometimes they just don't know how. I mean, it could be it could be the way they were raised. It could be maybe they didn't have a father. It can be multiple factors in regards to why that is what it is. But I'll tell you, in the research that I have seen, I've seen the division of family, and I've seen, you know, a vendetta in regards to, well, actually an agenda and a vendetta in regards to, you know, we look at family law, we look at the judicial system in regards to, you know, let's have a counseling session, you know, and we don't really have to go to court to battle this thing out. Let's be mature adults, but that's not 9 times out of 10 it's being offered. But, you know, do you have an attorney to represent you? And kids are now being used as ammunition and weapons, because maybe there was a bad breakup or whatever. At the end of the day, they had a child together.
Right.
And a lot of men, their parental rights are not being withheld at a 50-50, thing. And so I have to speak for that. I have to say, women really, like, you've allowed the suggestive, judicial system to not really want to co-parent with this man that you have a child with. And they make each other's lives heck because, oh, well, you hurt me, I'm going to hurt you back. Well, you can't see my kid, or you can see him, but I'm going to tell my child that your dad is this or your mom is this. And it's that brokenness.
Mm-hmm.
And then these young boys are being raised in that hostility. And these men are fighting to be a part of their babies' lives. But the courts are saying, no, you can't. Or no, now you have a restraining order. And it's there's so much to it. And that's what I'm going to be covering on Saturday on my TV show. But, I want men to be restored to their rightful position. And we need other men, such as yourself, that have dealt with at-risk young men.
Oh, yeah.
You have.
Oh, yeah.
They have been your students before.
Oh, yeah.
And you have been a role model in their lives. And we need other men that have that strength to go and mentor other men that don't know how. That just don't know how to do that.
Okay. And okay, so you're right. Everything you said, I agree with you. I want to add on to that, though.
Okay.
But that's not an excuse for men to
It's
say.
not.
And you've got to still step up. You know what? You'll find a way. If you still believe and you want to be a part of that child's life, you will be, because you can still fight.
That's right.
And the child will see that. You can
The
still
child
be a
will see
part
that.
of that.
That's right.
You can still be a part of that life. You can still be the positive influence. You have two choices. We all have choices. You can take the bad route, you can fight it, you can say all these nasty things, or you can take the high road and say, you know what? It's my child, and we're going to do it the right way. It's going to hurt. Maybe I'm hurting, but my child does not need to suffer from my pain. That's not our job. As a father, I'm not there to be my daughter's friend.
That's right. You hit that. Because a lot of children, they want their parents to be a friend. And that's what I tell my son and my daughter. I am not your friend.
No.
I am your parent at the end of the day.
That's right.
And
maybe, and I tell him this, I said, I'm going to be your father first. I'm going to be your mentor. I'm going to be your teacher. I'm going to be your helper. Then maybe at the end of my life, I'll be your friend. But remember, I love you through the whole time. Okay? This is the part that we forget. And this is how I teach. This is my way of giving back into that. And so, I think that's it's just something that more men need to start waking up and start talking about.
That's right. Well, Kenny, I'm so excited for you to come on, and I want people to, when you came down here and we did our video promo, see, opportunity comes to those that have their hearts out and are really wanting to change community and make a difference and really use their gifts to help with the greater good. And you're a joker. Like you like to joke. I love it because you crack me up all the time. But you got here before I did, and you got to meet Henry, who is the founder and owner of KUHS Denver Radio. And you guys were basically talking about, you brought this story up in regards to you having maybe a talk show. And let's talk about that, because that really was so dope. I want people to know how that opportunity came to you and what you basically told Henry, because I want my listeners to know that this is going to be a possibility, and the title of it's going to be Ask the Master.
Well, Henry's such a great person, and he's so easy to talk to. You know that.
Yeah.
And he was just cracking up, and we were laughing, and I just threw this at him. And I thought, we need a show that just pretty much says, get off your ass and get a job. And so many people have excuses. My God, this is happening. Just get off your ass and choose something. And that's basically what we were saying. And he was just laughing. I think he was so great, and he made me feel so at ease. I don't know if it was me that did it or Henry. I give Henry more credit. But I think sometimes we just need a reality check. It's so much political correctness out there. There's so much, we're tiptoeing everywhere, and basically sometimes you just gotta tell them as is. Yeah, you're ugly and you need to get off your butt and do something about it.
Right?
Yeah.
So you said that you were going to do a show, and this is just gonna be a show. It's gonna be like a funny show, but he's gonna be raw and real, and it's gonna be like a dry, raw, funny, sense of humor, because he's a master in Taekwondo. So he's gonna be doing a show in regards to people calling in and asking him asking advice basically on what they should do in regards to their situation. And so if someone is saying, I haven't found a job, over the last 6 months, this is just an example. Someone's calling in and Kenny's, ask the master, call him, ask the questions, and you're gonna also have one of your friends, one of your Olympian friends that are gonna come on because you said you guys are hilarious. But say, okay, I haven't had a job in the last 6 months, and he's gonna say, well, have you been looking? Have you been putting in resumes? Well, no. Okay, well, then what have you been doing? Well, I've just kind of been thinking that I need a job. I just haven't, taken action because I'm just feeling so bad, or I just am feeling like, how can I get a job, or whatever the case may be, right? And he would basically respond, get off your ass, go fill out some resumes, go knock on some doors, and get a job. I'm sorry for saying the ASS word. Sometimes we're a little raw here.
That's not that bad.
But and if somebody gets offended, he'd probably be like, well,
guess what? Get off your ass and get a job. The truth
or
is,
I will kick your ass.
I will kick your ass. Are you hungry enough? Because if you're hungry, you'll do the right thing. It's the reality. It's the truth. Nobody tells the truth. It's like, my kid is not listening to me. Well, take away the iPhone, smash it, and I promise you he'll listen to you next time. I mean, how many times have you seen that? So my kids don't listen to me. What's the kid doing? Looking at his iPhone. Well, guess what you should do? Because who paid for that iPhone?
Right.
Yeah. So I guess it really does come back to my training then. I do believe in no nonsense training.
No nonsense. Let's cut the pom poms and rainbows and flowers out of the way, and let's talk real talk.
Yeah, just get the baloney out of the way, and we'll get right into the meat. But I think really that isn't that the bottom line.
It is the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean the reason why anyone is successful is because we cut through the crap and we do what we have to do. It's not always pretty.
It isn't. And
it's not always easy. It really is very difficult to succeed. But you're not going to get there if you don't try. If you're not ready to get your hands dirty, if you're not ready to get on your knees and crawl and do what you need to and fall and bleed and cry, you know what? You don't deserve it.
That's right. And you know what? Anything worth having in life is worth fighting for. It's
absolutely right.
A fight.
And
trust me, it is. It's not going to be roses. It's going to be a walk, and you're going to get dirty. Like you said, if you're not willing to roll up your sleeves, then I guess status quo will be okay.
Yeah, and the way I look at it is like I love to talk about my students because they make me look good. I have an Air Force pilot that's flying I can't remember if that's F-23 or something, the top of the line aircraft, that's $300 million. And he's one of the few. He's one of my first champions I ever taught.
Wow.
I have an actor. I have teachers. I have a basketball player. I have all these great people surrounding me. It's not me. It's all about them. And I ask, you know what? If people want to learn, come to me. I want to teach you. I want to teach your child. I want to teach anyone, and it's never about the money, ever. It's my gift that I've given to me, and I need to share it.
That is so awesome. So I hope, guys, that this story inspired you. Kenny is not going to be gone. Master Kenny is not going to be gone. He's going to be coming back. But I want people to know how they can get a hold of you, Kenny. I know that you do offer classes. You do offer specific things you're going to be doing, different types of campaigns. We're actually going to be working on like a human trafficking fight club type of campaign. We still have to put the logistics together in regards to educating, community about human trafficking, their human rights, and self-defense workshops to get people educated. And not only that, you're doing other things in community. You're holding classes, all of those things. And I want people to support what you're doing. Yeah, it's awesome that you're not charging people. You're making a living, regardless, because your hands have been in multiple business. You're just an entrepreneur, and that's just what you do, and that's your give back. But I want people to know how they can get a hold of you, get involved with what you're doing. So how can they get a hold of you?
Well, first off, it's not free. I do charge a little bit, but if you can't afford it, it's always there for you. They can call me. If you don't mind, they can just ask you, and then it go to your email, or they can email me, but it's a little complicated. So you know.
I would rather them go through you.
Okay, that's fine. I'm trying to remember what's the best. There is a youth. It's YOO Taekwondo on Facebook. You can look it up that way. My phone number is 303-525-8438, and you can call me directly. And I'll repeat that one more time: 303-525-8438. So. Yeah.
That's awesome. So, and then I also will put that on my Facebook page whenever the audio and the video is ready to go up, and say, hey, you guys want to get a hold of Kenny? Here's his information. Here's his Facebook page, how they can get in contact with you. And he's possibly going to be having a show called Ask the Master. So I'm excited about that. If you do end up having a show, that's going to be dope. And it's gonna be awesome. I think it's gonna be hilarious. So I think that would be great. And so I just want to thank all of our listeners. I hope you have been inspired by Kenny's story. I hope that you do something in regards to not just getting this education or learning about his story and being empowered, that it has struck something within you and has maybe brought you to that point where you're asking that question, who am I? What's my purpose? I want to do something more. It may not be taekwondo, it may be art, it may be music, but really stepping out of the box and jumping with both feet, with both arms, with both eyes, with your heart wide open, is what I hope it helped you do and helps you do. Keep following us on Facebook. I announce a lot of things. I have my own personal Facebook, Angie Sandoval. I have the Source Radio TV talk show on Facebook. I also have all of the different shows that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be hosting my TV show at Denver Open Media before a live audience in regards to Fatherless America. Dwayne Meeks, who is an outstanding man that went through struggle in regards to going through the judicial system. He has his own organization called Urban Colors, and they help with mentoring men to step in and be fathers. And he's an award-winning speaker. He wrote a book in regards to men taking their rightful stance and becoming that father and that role model to their children and having that family reunification, which is going to be outstanding. So we're going to talk about a lot of the statistics, a lot of the issues, a lot of issues that could be addressed and how we can change that. So I'm pretty excited about that. So that, if you guys want to watch that, go to denveropenmedia.org because that's going to be live stream. We're going to be doing it live. And you'll just click on Watch Now. And that's going to be from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. this Saturday, the 18th, Mountain Standard Time. All time zones, people from the UK already are wanting to watch, Canada. So it's going to be awesome. So I'm pretty excited about that. And so be looking for our next segment. It's not going to be next Thursday, but the following Thursday, and I will be posting that stuff up. I thank you guys for all of your support. Much love. This is Angie signing out.
Hey, America, you need to have a
All right, got it.
All right, cool.
No, it's- but we have a lot of
File, check this out.